But first, thank you for joining us. I'm Robert Price. Tonight, we have team coverage from the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Our Simone D'Alba is live there along with Joe Galley and Alejandro Guzman. You see the video. More children, unaccompanied migrant boys, arriving at Freeman by the busload. For all that and more, let's hand it over to Simone, joining us live from the news conference that is now wrapped up. Simone?
Yeah, that's right, Robert. Good evening. And I am joining you live out here from the Freeman Coliseum. And we did learn that the press conference just ended. It wrapped up just a few minutes ago. We have Alejandra Guzman on that. She'll bring us those details shortly. But, you know, we've been seeing migrant children being brought right here to San Antonio, to the Freeman Coliseum behind me. Local leaders have been calling this a humanitarian effort. Let's get to News 4's Joe Galley. He has been tracking this story, covering it tirelessly for us. And Joe, can you tell us what you've seen over the last day? What have you observed?
Well, Simone, I can tell you one thing that we've been trying to do, and that was to join that delegation of elected officials on their tour. We made repeated attempts, even going so far as to telling them we'd be happy to leave our cameras behind just so that we could get a firsthand view for you, the people watching at home, as to what exactly is going on with these teenage boys. Those requests were denied, so I can only confirm what we've been able to see from the sidewalk here outside the Freeman Coliseum. So if you take a look at this video from about 1:15 this afternoon, there are 4 buses that arrived here to the Freeman Coliseum. I've been told by the county that there were volunteers from FEMA on those buses, but during that press conference, which ended just a little while ago, Congressman Castro also said that he believed that there were children on those buses as well, although we don't have exact numbers. The buses were taken directly to the Expo Center, where we were not able to see anyone disembark from them. The buses had tinted windows, but from what I could see, there did appear to be teenage boys inside. Now, last night there were 4 other buses that arrived here to the Freeman Coliseum, which did contain the majority of the migrant children. We're talking about 500 kids. These are teen boys between the ages of 13 and 17, and they could be here for quite some time, anywhere from just a few days to a few weeks, while they can be hooked up with other family members here in the United States while they wait to go through their asylum process. Simone?
All right, Joe, thanks for bringing us that coverage. And we did want to talk about the press conference that we mentioned a moment ago. Joe touched on it as well. It was very important for local leaders like Judge Wolf, Mayor Ron Nirenberg, Congressman Castro, all to have a first-hand look at what was going on inside the intake facility, just to see what the children were experiencing. And covering this press conference for us to get local leaders' opinions and hear what they have to say, we have News 4's Alejandra Guzman. Ale, can you tell us a little bit about what leaders had to say?
Simone, I can tell you that all of them, local, state, and federal officials, they just finished walking through the Freeman Expo halls where, just like we've been mentioning, about 495 boys between 13 and 17 years old are being housed after they all arrived last night. Now, the reason why they're here and touring this facility is because they all want to make sure that these boys are treated with respect and the care that they deserve. Now, Congressman Castro, who has toured both detention centers in Carrizo Springs and now this emergency intake site, says, well, this is not an ideal situation. Stopping here is a much safer for these kiddos as they make their way to family or sponsors while they wait for asylum here in the U.S. Now, Judge Wolf was able to talk to these boys as well, who says they were very happy to be here after fleeing horrible situations back home, all the way from Central America, and they're risking their lives to get here. Here's what he had to say.
I must tell you, when we were walking by greeting the young boys that are here, 13 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old, 16, 17, remembering they came up over 1,000 miles from the southern border of Mexico to make their way to the United States and to seek asylum. They came over and turned themselves in and asked for asylum. These are good kids.
Now, as the judge keeps on smiling about how they're really good kids, that's exactly what they are. These boys are in here watching movies, getting to play soccer. They're getting 3 meals a day, and they're being tested for COVID every 3 days. Now, coming up tonight at 6, we're going to hear from Commissioner Rebecca Clay Flores, who says this is a humanitarian issue, not a political one. So we're going to bring you the very latest coming up at 6. Melissa, back to you.
And at the live desk, we are following some breaking news for you. We have just learned Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has just filed a lawsuit. He says defends states against the cost of undocumented immigrants coming into the United States. The Attorney General leading a coalition with 13 other states before the U.S. Supreme Court defending what's called the public charge rule. Now, Paxton saying that taxpayers are forced to pay hundreds of millions of dollars every year to sustain the services our states must provide to undocumented immigrants. Paxton saying without this public charge rule, the Medicaid budget and other vital services will explode and be spread too thin, costing taxpayers millions more. Now, again, 13 other states are behind this lawsuit. Some include Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Kansas, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and West Virginia. Simone?
Melissa, thank you. Be sure to keep it here on News 4. We're going to continue to follow the very latest developments here at Freeman Coliseum of the unaccompanied minors in San Antonio, along with the situation at the border. Keep it here on 4 and online at news4sa.com.